Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Today I'm here for two things: cook my wife a steak dinner and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. That's corny, but anyway, on to the show. I've pretty much got everything already laid out before I cook it, just so I can kind of show y'all. It's nothing simple, nothing too complicated, nothing fancy. I'm not a trained professional chef. I'm just somebody who figures stuff out. Although I did stay at a Holiday Inn one time, so I don't know what that counts for. So here we got what the meal is going to consist of: green beans, which we're going to boil for a little bit. Yes, some instant mashed potatoes, but they're really good and really easy. And we're also going to use some ribeye steaks from the good old Walmart down the road. They do some good work. Food is good, so we're going to try to do some magic with these. Don't know which one's going to be my wife's yet. Which one's going to be mine? That one's going to be my wife's. Okay, so here's what I'm going to season them with. Both steaks are going to get a good dose of salt and pepper, and then my wife, she likes this McCormick's Montreal steak seasoning. Don't know why. It's not for me. And I'm just more of a simple Lawry's garlic salt. So that's kind of how we're going to go about seasoning them. So let's see what we so I'm going to kind of do that and then come back and kind of go over. I'm pretty much going to cook the steaks first and then let them sit. And while they're sitting, I'll cook the green beans and the mashed potatoes, because it doesn't really take very long. It normally takes about 10 minutes to cook the green beans. Mashed potatoes are like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, not very hard at all. That's why I like them. But, you know, going on. Steaks we're going to cook, which we'll grill at 5 minutes a side. So pretty much 10 minutes. Then judging off of the temperature, we're getting close to where we want it, so it has time to sit. And then while it's sitting, then that's, like I said, I'll come in and work on the rest, and I'll show you how I season my green beans. Again, nothing very complicated. It's pretty cut and dry. So I'll be back, and I'll kind of show a little bit more. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of season the first side of the steaks first. I like to take and put them on the parchment paper at first, because and then take them out to the grill, or season the first side and take them out to the grill, get them on the grill, and then season the second side while they're on the grill. That's just, you know, kind of my habit. So I'll come back. Okay, so now that we're back, again, like I said, I got my wife's steak seasoned up, or this side of the steak seasoned up, mine. What I like to do is I like to let the grill get up to around about 300 degrees before I put the steaks on, to allow the surface to actually get hot. So the next thing I'm going to do is, you know, put them on the grill. And the dog's barking. They probably smell the food. So I like to put them on at an angle, because that kind of gives that little checkered design. So I'm gonna go ahead and season this side. But what I'm gonna do is at the 2.5 minute mark, I'm gonna take and change the angle, so that way it actually gives the stripes, just like if you were cooking it. So let me go ahead and get that started, and I'll get back with y'all in a minute. Alright, now that I've got them both seasoned, we're about at the 2.5 minute mark. Like I said, I'm gonna kind of change the angle just a little bit to kind of help give them that little mark, and we'll be back when it comes time to flip them. Okay, we're about to the flipping point. But one thing I wanted to show is just like with this steak here, how it's starting to separate from the heat, the fat's starting to separate. One thing I wanted to point out is that if you have leftover steak, like I'm pretty sure we'll have some leftover steak after this, and you want to you're planning on heating it up in the microwave, if you're taking, just stab the heck out of that big chunks of fat and kind of cut it up a little bit before you actually turn on the microwave. It'll really make a really make a difference in how much juice comes out, and it just lets a lot of extra juice out. So it's time to flip them, and let's see what we're looking like here. Ooh, looking good, looking good, looking good. Not too done, or not overly done. Got, and you see the little actual check marks, or the checkered lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on for another 5 minutes, and then at 2.5 minutes, I'll change the angles again so we can get it on the other side, and then we'll come back and see what we're working with. I'll get back with y'all. Alright, so we're back again after the 2.5 minute mark. Give them a flip. I'm trying to do this one hand is kind of iffy. So we're going to let these finish cooking for the next 2.5 minutes. Come back, and then I'll go over what's the next step. The 5 minutes 5 minutes per side is what I go off of for roughly medium rare, which is what me and my wife enjoy eating, is the medium rare. I'm not sure what you're into and what your tastes are, so you may have to adjust the time to reflect that. And it's based on the size also and the thickness of the steak. We try to get the same size steak roughly, and it's still sometimes it's a little bit more than 5 minutes, and sometimes it's a little bit over. But the 5 minutes is generally a good rule of thumb. And again, it came from a good friend of mine and neighbor who helped me build this grill when I bought the house, or when I bought the house, and kind of went over with it, and I've played around with it and using what he's taught me as far as, like, he's the one that showed me to take and change the angle to make the little marks and everything. So he's a really good guy, and he's a heck of a lot better cook than I could ever be. So I couldn't do it without him. So I appreciate his help, and we'll come back in a minute and go over the last little bit. Alright, so we're back. It's been roughly 5 minutes for each side. I got my little thermometer here, so we're going to try to see what the temperature is. It's kind of hard to do this with one hand while trying to look at the camera. So showing 120, 122 on that one. Oh, quick, ow, that's hot. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. So this one is running about 140, so that one's pretty much done. So what I'm going to do on that one, I'm going to let the other one cook a little bit longer. But what I like to do after that is pick them up and just kind of get the side really good for a little bit. Just kind of helps release some of that extra grease. Ooh, look at that. Sometimes I'll lose a little bit of arm hair here and there, but that's all right. It'll grow back. Because if you can see that right there, it looks a little bit underdone. But by doing it this way, ow, that's hot, it'll kind of singe up a little bit and a little jerk. Be a little jerk then. That's hot. I'm bullying food, okay? I'm sorry. I know you shouldn't talk bad about food, because it's going to be good later. But once I kind of get it rolled over on the sides, it's going to be really good. So look at that. That just looks good. So that's what I'm going to do with that one. Throw it over here. Let it cool down. I'm going to do the same thing on this one, even though it's still kind of cooking. It should be about right. Yes, log. Look at that right there. Alright, so I got that side. See if I can flip it over. Don't burn me. Anyway, I hope y'all find my weird sense of humor somewhat amusing. The voices in my head do, so we're all good. Yeah, just gonna do it all. Nice and cookie. See? Get over there, right there. So let me see what I can come up with. See what the, look at all that. Some of that come off, some of it stayed. So anyway, let me try seeing what the temperature is. 124, 26. Hold on, let me see if I can get a better grip at it. Like I said, again, I'm not used to doing this one-handed, trying to hold a cell phone and do it. Come on, get up, wherever, try it. Yeah, I'm gonna bring it. Get in there. I'm gonna stick it down for a minute. Hold on. Be right back, y'all. Yeah. So let's see what we got here. If it's still the same. Yeah, it's still the same. Okay. Well, we're gonna let it cook a little bit longer. Be right back. Okay, so finally got it at in the 130s. I like to put it in around the mid 130s if possible, because by the time it sits, it cooks a little bit and it should round itself out real nice. So then I'm gonna just cut the grill off. And what I like to do is I like to turn off the gas while leaving it burning, so that way it lets all the gas cook out of the line. And there you go, you hear a little poop. And then just leave it open. So this is gonna be good eating. Good eating. Be right back, y'all. Sorry, I'm shaking a little bit. Hold on a minute. So yeah, these are kind of the steaks. Just brought them in. Look at that beautiful juice. I went ahead and started the green beans. I got them in the water. Got the water coming up. As soon as it starts to boil, I'll time them for 10 minutes. That way, I like using the frozen ones from the frozen ones from Walmart. Anybody who knows Great Value is Walmart. Love it. These are really good as opposed to the cans, or the green beans in the can. The green beans in the can will work, but these tend to be so much better because they're not as cooked as the ones in the can, or at least not to my taste or the way I can tell. And by doing these for 10 minutes, they're going to be not overdone, not underdone. They're going to be still have a little bit of crisp, a little bit of green bean flavor to them, which we're going to take and season them. And I'll show you how I season them, and we'll go from there. And again, none of this is the way, it's just a way. Give it a try. I hope you like it. I'll be back in a little bit with a little bit more. Alright, I'm back. Got the green beans going. It's been a couple minutes. I'm not going to go in too much into the mashed potatoes because it's pretty cut and dry, pretty simple, because they're instant. It's not like I'm throwing a little of this. No, it's just that stuff is good. So I do try the different styles. Some of them I like, some of them I don't. This is one of the ones I do. So that's going to kind of complement the meal, the steaks, the green beans, and then what will eventually be the mashed potatoes. But those will be done a lot sooner than the green beans. So when the green beans are done, I'll go over the process of what I do with them. So see y'all in a little bit. Okay, I'm back again. And so what I did was I took and strained the green beans and added butter and the Lawry. This is complicated with one hand, sorry. The Lawry garlic seasoning, and I normally don't like using a pan this big, but it's what I had at the moment, so that's what I'm using. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. So it's gonna look like a mess, but that's what I'm doing. Just mixing in butter and garlic salt. I don't go by taste. I pretty much go by the look of it. I know what it looks, what it's supposed to look like when I'm done, and it always turns out pretty good. I'll come back when I get it done, just kind of show you the end result. All right, I'm back again. So I forgot to show you what it looks like, but the way I like it is, yes, I know it's a lot of butter, but most of the butter, a lot of the more liquid butter runs to the bottom. but it should look, the green beans should look really wet but you should be able to still see the kind of graininess from the garlic salt. And I ended up putting it in this little bowl, which I know kind of looks, as my wife would say, kaderder, but which is kind of like not very professional, but it was better than the big pot that I had them in. And this is the end result. You got your mashed potatoes, got it plated up and ready to go. So as soon as she gets home, we'll eat. But now it's for the most important part of cooking any meal. Well, second most important part. First part, definitely say blessing before you eat. Second most important part, doing the dishes so she doesn't have to, or so she doesn't yell at me for making such a mess in the kitchen. So anyway, I'm gonna let y'all go. One says I normally do learning Filipino language. I'm gonna leave y'all with a Filipino word of the day, masarap. This stuff is good. Hope y'all like it. Try it out. If you do something different, or if you think I should try something different, leave it in the comments. Like, subscribe. God bless. Stay safe. Do great things.